Good morning. Welcome to the Hardcore Mortgage Real Estate Business Show brought to you by Capital Mortgage Funding. You can reach us at 1-800-LOW-RATE or here live on the show all morning long at 248-539-9797. I'm Harvey Freed. He's Sherri Gramlich.
Morning, everybody. Harvey, everybody. Listen, it's really, really nice out this morning. This is one of those beautiful fall mornings where it's calm before the storm. You know, we had a little weather. But now today's going to be a really nice day. And then I hear what's going to happen tomorrow, everybody.
What's going? Oh, a little snow here.
It's going to be snowing, yeah.
Should keep that. Keep that to yourself.
Everyone knows I like snow. I ain't mad about it.
No, right. I know it's good.
The voice of the great Becky Alley, always coming in hot. Here she is. Good morning.
Yeah.
You drove back from Traverse City. You were way up there.
Yeah.
Okay.
So good morning, everybody. But yeah, it's I feel like I've been all over the U.S. of A. in Michigan, and I was at a really cool open house yesterday, and I can get into it. But before we do that, I have to announce my main chick next to me. She is Sherri Gramlich, someone that actually doesn't need an introduction. Truly, she is a staple to the show. But more importantly, she is a veteran of the Army. And today is our special veteran show because we have Veterans Day coming up next week. And there was no one else that was going to be sitting next to me than my girl, Sherri Gramlich.
Thank you, Becky.
You're welcome.
I'm so excited to be here.
All right. Always great to have you, Sherri. There's no doubt about that. I said, you walked in and I'm like, Sherri, what branch were you in? I didn't look, of course, at your hat. That in all four letters, Army, of course. Thank you for serving, Sherri, and all. I know you're deeply involved. And, of course, you just went to the EXP Con where they elected you to a huge position. I'll let you share it.
I'm so excited about it. So I am now the chairperson of the Military Network, and it is phenomenal. So we have a network of agents across the country that are military affiliated, whether they're active duty, reserves, retired, veterans, military spouses, or even military supporters. And so I I lead the board. And so we make decisions and do things to educate, train, collaborate across the country. So it's so cool to be connected with all those agents across the country.
It's always special when Sherri comes in.
Yeah.
And you never have to worry about Sherri talking on the radio.
No.
Right? It's good. And it's special because, Sherri holds that connection between her and her fellow service people. And it's a special group. When they get together, it's a feeling, it's a fraternity, right? They share things that only they have experienced. And it's also near and dear to me because my son, Nick, who's in the Army, tanker, Sherri, as you know, when he gets together, he still serves. He's in the reserve. He's still a captain, and he's going for a major promotion next year. So when we see Sherri and we talk to Sherri, it's always special. And to have her in Veterans Week, it's always one of the best shows of the year.
Yeah, I'm going to piggyback on that one for sure, especially because I'm fortunate enough to see this woman work on a day-to-day basis and see the effort and what she puts into things. So when they elected her for the military network within the EXP, I know there was no one else really that could fill those shoes because she is committed to putting the veterans in better positions, from charity work to events she puts on to shining the spotlight on the people that don't have a voice sometimes, or they think they don't have a voice. She uses that space to really shine a light on where things can be better. And the fact that you have been with, EXP for as long as you have been, and then you've been witnessing things. So now you get to participate and have a real active voice in the suggestions that can make it better for everybody, not just here in Michigan, but nationally.
It's really, really awesome. The things we're already putting into place for our members, so our realtors, to be able to help their clients is amazing. Mm-hmm. And it's super exciting watching it unfold.
Well, we're, of course, in all 50 states, so we can help do those VA mortgages. Yep. Of course, we're the direct lender to VA, and you could just call us at Capital Mortgage Funding, 1-800-LOW-RATE, the best mortgage banker. I've been fortunate. I feel like I'm getting one a month now because literally, if I close this other one, I'll have 3 VAs in a row, one each month. And
that's awesome.
Again, hardworking military professionals out there. Becky, great loan out there, especially for the first-time users. 0 down, so a lot of the people out there, a lot of folks don't have a ton of money to work with. 4% seller's concessions. Boy, you can get in. My guy the last closing, he got $3,000 back because he had a large earnest money deposit. So it's quite an astonishing opportunity for any veteran. I like it for their first loan to get into a house.
Yeah, I like it for the first loan. Sometimes I like it for their second loan. I'm doing an IRLA right now where that's an interest rate reduction loan for someone that already has a VA loan. And, it just matters. And especially if they're exempt, the funding fee doesn't necessarily have to be tacked into the mortgage. But you have to know your stuff, and you have to know, like, if he has those questions, because sometimes there are veterans that don't even think about using their benefits sometimes. If they're putting 20% down, sometimes we have to look and see, okay, does it, what does the math look like? But the interest rate is so strong, and those are their benefits they have fought for, because freedom is not free. We all know that. And if a veteran has their benefits that can be utilized, and if they're exempt and then they're tax exempt, you have to pay property taxes. I mean, there's so many things in different rooms and nooks and crannies that you can take a VA loan. But if you're not up to your stuff, you're going to miss those opportunities and those real benefits for those veterans, for sure.
Yeah, so, Sherri, here we are on November 8th, right? And I ask the magic question to every guest every single week. And it's a real easy question. Where do you see the market now? And where do you see the market going later this year and early into spring? Because the market has switched a little bit. All right, we're seeing a little bit more receptive seller out there because, as you know, when you have your house on the market this time of year, people are serious about selling. So where are you seeing the market currently, and predict the future for me?
That's so fun, isn't it?
That's so easy. Go ahead.
And we're all probably going to say things a little bit different, right? Things are a little bit slow right now. But I feel like the beginning of the year, it's going to open up a lot. Meanwhile, I still have listings coming up. I still am working with some buyers as well. And I have events coming up that I'm going to be working so that I'm in front of people as well. One of them is in Wayne County. They're doing a Veterans Fair on November 20th. So I'm going to be there. I will have a table. They have like 100 vendors.
Is that open to the public?
It is.
Okay, so so if someone's interested, where could they go for that?
It is at Wayne County Community College on West Outer Drive.
Okay.
And I want to say, if you look at Facebook, Wayne County Treasurers, it will list that. But it is from, I want to say 12 to 3, but I might be wrong on the times.
Yeah,
but
we'll
it's
make sure
on
we post
West
it on
Outer
socials
Drive.
and share it. Yep.
It's going to be an amazing event. So I'm super excited to participate in that. Over 100 vendors. So that's big.
Yeah, so here we are,
That's a lot of
Beck
people.
and Harvey and Sherri. We're at that time of year where people are serious about buying and selling because they're also serious about the holidays. And everything seems to get put on hold because we're at that time of year. We're going into Thanksgiving. After Thanksgiving, we're going into Christmas and then the New Year. So, Becky, if somebody is buying a house now or they're selling a house, they are really serious about getting a deal done because they've got other things in their life coming up, but they want to get that transaction complete.
For sure. I feel like as human beings, we are natural procrastinators, and we're natural at, I'm going to do this after that. And, sometimes when the holidays are coming up, you think about the expenses and, monetizing your finances. But you can really move forward on a transaction right now. But naturally, this is that little lull. I feel like people are starting to move again. And what we're feeling, the slowness that we're feeling now is because people were a little bit hesitant in September and October. So what we're seeing now is translating of now people are starting to move again, but it's not happening fast enough because there was that 60-day lull. So everything that happens now is like what was going on 90 days from or prior to this.
This is a good time to buy, though, still, because you're going to be able to get that income tax deduction, for the beginning of the year on your taxes if you get it in by the end of the year.
For sure. So speaking of buying, okay, so real quick, I was at this beautiful estate mansion. It's Red Pine Point Estates up in Traverse City. And I drove up Thursday night, was there Friday, came back Friday night so I could be here today for the show. But I mean, you're talking there was people from Dearborn, Ann Arbor, local people, local brokers. But I mean, you're talking, it pulled people from all over Michigan at this listing. And I mean, this place was remarkable. People were looking at a wedding venue. Some of them were looking at that retirement for the whole entire family. But
wow.
I mean, it had Murphy doors. It was hidden rooms. I mean, it was Peter Pan's adult home, I guess. There was just so much fun and excitement. Every room kind of rolled over to another room. But that price point was 8.9.
It's on Grand Traverse Bay.
Yeah, it's
right?
8.9 million. So if that is your price point, or you're looking to buy a wedding venue or whatever it is, we'll definitely post it because it was something spectacular.
It's a one of a kind.
One of a kind.
It's
yes.
a one of a kind. It's going to take a special buyer, but it has all the amenities that you want.
Yes, it had like for the staff quarters to stay there and maintain the property. It had like places for family, grandmas, sisters, cousins, brothers. I mean, you could literally probably have 100 people there and you wouldn't even know it.
This destination home for sure.
Yeah.
One of the many across the United States. You see these Frank Lloyd Wright homes all over the United States. I don't know what we have here in Michigan. We're going to start bringing them to the audience,
Yeah.
though, because like this is a one of a kind. I know the place at Meadowbrook has always been an attraction. And you got the Etzel Ford place over on the east side, which, again, they allow for tours, and you can get some really interesting ideas if you're building a new house.
If anybody's listening up there and they want to buy that house, I will take care of the pool. Okay?
You got it?
There is no pool because you're literally
you're on the lake?
Well,
Okay.
you're panoramic water views.
Then I'll be the boat boy.
Yes,
All
there is not
I'm in.
one
You just
room.
give me a room, I'm in.
Yeah, so
All
it's,
right?
I
There
think,
you
yeah.
go.
So if you follow me on social media, like I did like a little bit of a tour of a couple of spots in the house, but it is panoramic water views. Like you get sunsets and sunrise. It was pretty remarkable. But one of the conversations was, people from the outside are coming in and they're, like the natives, like they like to call themselves of the, like upper part of the state and the peninsula, like they get kind of territorial a little bit is because
Oh, they do.
because
Up there.
yeah, because they're like the, it's just an easy breezy kind of lifestyle, and we're very much grinders downstate. Is like we're very much like hustling and bustling, and
Well, they've got the people flying in from Chicago, the
Yeah.
Chicago suburbs that want to be over there. I mean, that's
Yeah.
a big destination. It's a big summer place for people that live in Chicago.
yeah,
All
I
right.
mean, gated. It was all the things. It was definitely the things.
We'll touch on vacation homes
Yes.
up north. Of course, always a great attraction here. You're listening to the Hardcore Mortgage Real Estate Business Show in our 25th year. We take your calls at 248-539-9797. We'll be right back. Welcome back to the show. It's a Hardcore Mortgage Real Estate Business Show. Call us at Capital Mortgage Funding, especially because we're talking refinance. That's right, folks. Rates have dropped. You want to call us at 1-800-LOW-RATE, the best mortgage banker, and get that new refinance. You'll save a ton on closing costs. Don't pay those crazy fees. Definitely call us at Capital Mortgage Funding. We are, again, brought to you empowered by CMG Home Loans, NMLS 1820, Equal Housing Lender. We get that out of the way. Sherri Gramlich, the great Sherri Gramlich, of course, downriver EXP Trenton office. You'll go about an hour and a half. You just said it, Sherri. We got you on the books now. She'll drive where you are. If you're a veteran, look up Sherri. She'd love to list your house, work with you. A little extra touch if you've already served in the military. And Sherri, that's okay. People like to work with people they get along with and have some commonality. And definitely, you're easy.
You talk the same
language.
language, right? You
Yeah.
talk the same language, and that's really what it's all about: connecting with people, making sure that you've got their back, and you know what everybody's gone through. So, I want to talk about a little interest rate talk right now. Let's
dive into it.
Let's get a little nerdy on interest rate talk. A week and a half ago, the Fed came out, lowered the Fed funds rate. And automatically that triggers a lot of response, a lot of reaction. What's your rate? What's your rate? When this is public service announcement to all the mortgage people out there, I'm going to do it for you. Everybody, rates actually went up.
Yeah.
Right? They went up about 20 basis points. What does that mean in real life? So you probably could have got around 6 1/8, maybe a week and a half ago. And then all of a sudden the Fed announces, everybody expects the rates to go down a quarter point. Well, they actually went up 25 basis points. And that's a reaction to the investment world going ahead and pulling back because the rates were already baked in. What does that mean in real talk? Everybody figured they were going to drop 25 basis points. It was no surprise what the Fed did. It would have been a surprise if they did nothing, and it would have been a surprise if they did 50 basis point drop. But they didn't. They went on schedule. So what happened? The investment world said, "Hey, look it." I'll say it like it is. Hey, look it. No surprise. Mortgage rates are not going down anymore. They're at a low, and right now they're still very low. If you're in the high 6s, low 7s, again, I'm going to say it, Becky. What are you waiting for? Why are you waiting?
Yes. What Harry's saying too is if you bought a house last year, chances are your rate is in the 7s, 1,000%, because that's just where they were this time last year. So it does make sense to refinance. But if I could record myself saying a little bit of what Harry just said and like my touches on it, it would save me probably a good 20 minutes
Absolutely.
per conversation because, it is. The mortgage interest rates tend to follow the T-bond, the Treasury, but T-bond, right?
10-year.
So the 10-year T-bond, yes. So then it also has a direct correlation with inflation. When the Fed is talking about their interest rate cuts, it is the short-term lending that would have the more direct effect, like your credit card, short-term loans, car loans, student loans. If I said that, I don't know, but
yeah.
That's going to have more of a direct effect. Your home equity line of credits, but again, the quarter was already baked in, so it almost had. It was obsolete because they already thought that was going to happen. But they are still better than they were last year. So again, if it makes sense, and there's a couple individuals like you have I'm working, again, we're 50 states, so I have a refinance I'm working on in Colorado. We're saving just by dropping their interest rate, the 2% that they were at last year to where we're at on a VA loan, we are now saving them $800 by doing nothing but doing our interest rate reduction. So have a conversation with the professionals where it makes sense, map it out. And if you do a refinance right now, there is nothing that's going to stop you from refinancing again in 12 months and slide the rate down because you're doing principal reductions. You're not
Becky,
doing
that's real
cash
money.
outs.
$800 a month is real money. And Sherri,
Net.
right.
Net.
So even if we saved you $100 a month, let's just say we only saved you $100 a month. If I came to your house after 12 months, which essentially is what this is, and handed you a check for $1,200, would you turn me away? Would you say, "No, Harry, I don't want it"? No, you wouldn't.
No way.
So why are people, they say, "Well, the rates aren't low enough. You're only saving me $100, $150 a month." What do you mean only? I'm handing you a check for $1,200 to $1,800 in 12 months. You know
But
what
you
can do
can
with that
always
money?
flip that too, because meanwhile, prices of houses are still going up.
Oh, yeah.
Right? And so if you're waiting, you're going to be behind the 8 ball because that money that you saved on interest rates,
Right.
you're spending on the house
When you're
because
buying-
it's
yeah.
going up.
When you're buying a new house, you take a look at it, and we say this. Again, on when you're buying a house. I'm going to wait till next year. I'm going to wait. I'm going to wait. I'm going to wait. You know what? You're waiting, and at the minimum we talk about, it's going to appreciate minimally 5%. Okay, so on a $200,000 house, that's $10,000 that you're going to pay more. Okay, so I don't the whole waiting game to me.
Again, it's the procrastination because
The
think
whole
about it.
waiting game.
Let me see how I can say it like this. Like, again, so the people that bought the houses this time last year, their rates were in the 7s. However, now they're refinancing it, and everything that we strategically anticipated in our conversations, we could not guarantee it, but we're like, in the anticipation of doing this for as long as we can recognize patterns in the world, in the economy. This is most likely going to happen, and here they are. They secured the property, they locked in the price of the home, and here we are, sliding down with the interest rates. Now their payment is they're saving money, and we're readjusting the taxes too, because that's a whole other animal where if someone bought last year, the taxes have readjusted. And now where there's a lot of escrow shortages and things like that, if they didn't, allocate enough funds. And sometimes you can do your best you can to anticipate, but sometimes you're still going to see that payment influx.
Continuing that interest rate talk, let's just finish up with that. Yeah, when Harry dropped some numbers, again, we're talking no discount points. A lot of folks did. Becky, you opened the door for it. Last year, they might have spent a lot of money on paying discount points. A discount point, 1% of your loan amount. If you borrow $300,000, it cost you an extra $3,000. You probably made a mistake and threw away a lot of money because people you're working with, you're clicking buttons. I'm getting those phone calls. Harvey, I'm getting solicited by these people. The closing costs are crazy. They want to pay first. They want you to pay to buy down the interest rate. Most of you folks already did it last year, made a huge financial mistake. That's the numbers. It's always about the math. We do these simple math equations all the time. So again,
Harvey's anti-points. Sometimes I don't hate it.
I like it now. I'll tell you what.
You know what
I
don't
like it
hate
now.
You know what I don't hate it? I don't hate it when somebody else is paying it. I don't hate it when it's a seller's concession. I don't hate it that when you go to buy a house and you say to the seller, instead of negotiating the price down, I want $15,000 in closing costs and prepaids. Okay, what are prepaids? Taxes. So you go ahead and use their money that you're getting off on the sale of the house to pay points and buy down the rate. That's when I don't hate it. Yeah. I hate it when you're taking money out of your own pocket and paying it. Why not keep that, take a little higher rate, take it, and then pay the house down or use it for improvements? Because when everybody buys a house, they don't just move in and not do anything. They have to paint, they have to carpet, they have to clean, they have to change some things. So don't use your money. I don't hate it when somebody else is paying for it. I don't.
Yeah, so
I hate it when
Becky,
you
like
pay.
you said.
I hate it when you pay for it.
Better yet, Becky, if you didn't pay the points when you purchased last year and you secured that house and you already got that house, obviously you can save some money by not paying points. But if you do, now you pay the points, right? Because the rates have already trickled down a little bit. If they're going to trickle down some more, you have to make that decision. But definitely, if you didn't pay them before, take a look at the math. Find out where your break even is.
You gotta have talk about the math. But again, in some situations, I don't hate it. And but you look at the payback, how long you're going to be in the home, what is really the net, monthly savings, monthly versus what you're paying up front. But on Harry's side of it, with the concession, so let's just say your total closing costs with prepaids and all the things was $10,000. Well, now you have 15, so there's $5,000 that would technically be left on the table. In that scenario, we could look and see, okay, what does it look like to pay $5,000 to get a lower interest rate? So therefore, you're utilizing all that money. You're not leaving at the table because you're not going to see the same month-to-month savings by doing a principal reduction. So there's different ways you can change that around. And when we're talking about points, because actually a lot of people don't understand that. So if your loan amount, we'll say, is $100,000, and you hear someone say you're going to pay 1 point, that if your loan amount is $100,000, you're paying $1,000 to get a lower rate. And there's either money in front of the rate or behind the rate. So if there's money in front of the rate, that means you have to pay the money to get to the rate because it's a lower rate. If there's money behind the rate, that means you get the rate and you get the money that's behind the rate if there's an extra, concession. So if you took a 7.375 versus a 6.375, you might be able to get an additional incentive to reduce your closing costs. But again, those are very two different opposite ends of the spectrum. There's somewhere in the middle that makes sense as well.
Yeah,
so just
I love
have
that
a conversation.
example, Becky. I do. I love it. And Harvey and I, we all can do the math in our head. So if it's a $100,000 loan and you get a 0.25% less in rate for paying the 1 point, let's say you do. Let's say, Harvey, what is
that's
that?
$16. $16.
It's nothing.
He just
right?
did his Rain Man math.
So you do that, and then
a
you
half
take
percent, Harry, is $32.
Right, and then you take that and you divide it in 1,000 and 1,000, and you see how many months it takes you to recoup it. So if it takes you longer than a couple years, or you're not going to stay in that house, why are you paying the money? Why? So that's my big problem with it. When you take your own money out of your own pocket and pay for something that has too long of a payback break-even point.
Well,
Now,
what
if
it
you're-
is, yeah. Like,
if you're
I didn't
using
agree
somebody
with-
else's money,
For sure.
I mean, maybe, okay? But
Yeah.
I'm just not a big, I never have been, 36 years, never been a big fan of somebody taking money out of their own pocket to buy down a rate.
It's the visual aesthetic.
But that's
because
just me.
5.99 looks way sexier than 6.125, right? It's just how it is. It's just the humans as
Do
they
the
are.
math.
Yeah.
Do the math. The math doesn't lie, right?
Yeah.
Do the math.
Yes.
Also, the pros and cons of a cash out refinance. We'll probably do the whole morning refinance show. And of course, Sherri Gramlich will be talking all about buying and selling real estate. So we got a lot of you
But
out
she
there listening.
understands the same,
Yeah.
that's what's so amazing about Sherri is she's in the streets, boots on the ground, and she's dangerous just enough about mortgages, but when she's having these, she's sitting in this room right now, she understands, she's also looking at it as her clients, right? She sold the house a year ago. What are they doing now? What are they doing 2 years from now? Or do they want to sell? Some people are already they bought the house last year and they want to sell again. And
Absolutely.
And that matters.
Happens all the time.
Yeah. And it's just, you don't know what life situation is going to throw at you. But when you're around professionals that know how to guide you, or they'll even reach out to you, be like, hey, Sherri, I bought last year. I want to refinance. Can you recommend someone? She knows how, she knows. She's going to get them in touch with the right people.
All right, you are listening to the Hardcore Mortgage Real Estate Show, brought to you by Capital Mortgage Funding. We got tons to share with you. Again, we're always going to remind you, look out for those scammers. Boy, my phone's been lighting up recently with a bunch of crazy people.
yeah.
I don't even have a Spectrum, whatever you are, but Harry's got them too here. All right, keep it here on 97.1 The Ticket, 248-539-9797. We'll be right back. Welcome back to the show. It's 8:30, the Hardcore Mortgage Real Estate Business Show in our 25th year, giving you some great information. If you're thinking about buying a house, give us a call. Get away from clicking buttons. Boy, Woohoo! I talked to somebody this week, Becky, and they were going to go do a house, got a signed purchase agreement, but wasn't planned. They were not planning on doing a sewer line inspection. This house was ancient, and I got to tell you, above ground, it was gorgeous. It was a complete flip. And again, Beck, you know this. If we go to a house and your inspector goes there and your agent, Sherry, you can see everything above ground. You can go read how old the furnace is, if it's dirty, if it looks like it's old rusted, like your hot water heater, and you could see those things are above ground. But boy, that sewer line inspection, everyone's doing, and every time they do it, there seems to be an issue almost every time.
Yeah, actually, just ironically, I have a purchase right now where they did the sewer scope and they found out that there's a couple of lines that are collapsed, like in the driveway, things like that. And, but because the agent was educated and, advising her client, he decided that they weren't going to kill the deal over it. They just asked for seller concessions for the repair. They, had people there that could kind of describe, because it was far enough away where it wasn't something where you had to jack up like in the actual inside, like the basement. It was actually outside in the driveway, end of the driveway. But like that's how deep they went with it. And so now the person has like 7,500 seller concessions. It's a completely different transaction for them. But imagine the times where people did not do the sewer inspections, the sewer scopes, what they got
They're
into.
reminded every day, usually the water's backing up all over the place, toilet doesn't fly. There's all sorts of issues.
Yes. So it's definitely it's a necessity, in the downriver community for sure. I think in any community, because you just don't know what those trees have been doing sometimes.
Yeah, and so again, Sherry, this was the thing, and I'm sorry, Harry, just the thing was that they didn't work with somebody who was local, who really knew. I asked them how long, even in the conversation, just curious, did you interview your agent? And they said, I think she's been doing it for a couple years. I'm not saying that you couldn't be a great agent after 2 years, but if you're not sharing the advice that everyone else is talking about, Sherry, if you want to comment on that.
Oh, that's a huge thing. It really does matter who you work with, right? You got to know how to pivot, how to react, when you should ask for concessions, when you should ask for repairs, what makes the most sense, not just for the buyer, but for the seller, so that you don't kill deals.
Yeah, so Sherry, that seller, when they have an issue like that and you tell them, hey, listen, on the inspection it came back the sewer, that seller is going to have to do that repair anyways. If they don't do it for that buyer and they say, no, we're not doing it, and you turn that buyer away and you try to roll with it, it's going to come up again, because once that repair is known in the community, you might as well get it done with the first person that put in a legitimate offer. You can't skirt those kind of issues, right?
And
everybody knows about it.
If I'm working with a seller, the first thing I'm going to do is say, let's do our own sewer scope and make sure that it's legit first.
You mean you anticipate what might be a problem?
Yeah, absolutely.
Sherry, it's no different than if you go to the house and they say, look, you start asking questions and you find out that the furnace has been repaired. It's 25 years old. It's the same thing.
It is.
You're preparing them to make a concession, perhaps.
Right, because
Absolutely.
not everything is a deal killer. Now, if it's a first-time buyer and that makes them nervous, then you can't force someone to buy a property, but you can educate them, because these are normal things that are going to be happening once you own any home.
And it doesn't matter if it's this buyer or the next buyer,
Correct.
the problem's still going to be there.
For sure.
Let's figure out what's going on.
For sure.
And find a solution instead of dwelling on the problem. Let's make sure and let's find a
those
solution.
issues. Okay, and we always talk about the top five. We talk about the furnace, we talk about the foundation, we talk about the roof, and we talk about the sewer system. There's your four, okay?
Yep.
And then you start going in from there. What are the major ones? Those are the major ones, everybody. Everybody knows about the top four.
Yeah.
But then you have to do really some investigation in the other things. Asbestos abatement, that's a big one.
Radon.
If that comes up.
Radon,
And you go into your
that's huge.
radon, you go into certain things, sump pump backup, you go into all the other things. But the 4 or 5 major ones, you really have to go in depth on it, because nobody wants to buy a house and have to have a $30,000 repair right off the bat.
No, and the roof thing is a huge, huge, huge thing, especially with insurance. It's like they're flying over with drones. If they even think that there's even something going on with the roof, they are jacking up those premiums for sure. But even, I'm going to do a public service announcement, seller disclosure. Whether you're conventional or FHA, if there's something marked on the seller disclosure, believe it or not, underwriters do look at those things. And when you're doing your due diligence and you say there's a minor roof repair, that you disclose, or like one of the vents or something like that, there was water coming in, they have the right to ask for proof that repair was made. even though it's a conventional appraisal, the appraiser is not crawling on the roof and going to look at every nook and cranny, but your private inspector will. But if they see it on the seller disclosure that there might have been a roof repair, they have every right to ask the seller for proof that that repair was made, because everything that is in place, everybody, is to protect the consumer. We're not asking for things that are going to hurt a transaction or kill a transaction, but we also have to make sure that the people that we're the majority investor of 99% of the homes that we are lending on.
Health and safety issues when they come up.
Yeah, so we have to make sure that the home is of sound mind and body to the best of our qualifying abilities.
Yep. So when somebody asks you to put that handrail on, don't complain about it. Put the handrail on.
We don't want
Aunt
Ethel tumbling down into the basement and she couldn't grab onto anything.
Yeah,
that's a bad luck. Let me roll into that cash out refinance conversation. Becky, you mentioned it earlier, and I got some calls this week. Yeah, people's homes are being reassessed. So now your property taxes have gone up, your summer or winter taxes have gone up. There's a shortage in your escrow account. You're going to get a lender letter and saying, hey, your payment's going up. Yeah. You have to digest it. You got to remember if you just bought the house a year or two, we've talked about this. Everyone's talking about it.
Yeah.
If your agent and lender didn't talk about a reassessment on the property taxes, shame on you. But you can do some things, Becky. You mentioned this already. You could do a cash out refinance to maybe pay off some other debts, right? So if your taxes and everything went up $300 a month, maybe now you got a credit card that's lingering. You could save money that way. So you could pay off the credit card, refinance the house, and reset that escrow account. Becky, those two things will drive that payment back down to something a little bit closer to where you were paying in the past.
Yeah, or even you could take it a step further and you can kind of reassess those taxes during the purchase time, because we already know these things are going to happen. So, you can move those taxes up to the anticipated reassessed rate. But, sometimes it's an issue because, when you're qualifying someone, because people say, well, why don't you just do that all the time? Like you you shorten my escrow account, right? And so it's a double-edged sword, because we have these conversations with our clients. Again, and what Harvey's alluding to is the people that don't have the conversations, right? Because we always want, as much as we can, have our clients looking down the road, not at their nose. So we're going to talk about the taxes, but people forget. They have short-term memory, and then now we might get the calls from someone else's, they close a transaction with somebody else. But on the other side of it is, why don't you do it now? Well, it's because sometimes when we're qualifying someone, it's a dual income house. And if we were to force the higher taxes, it might push them out as far as that individual qualification. But we know that there's two people that are living in the house. And so you have to kind of finesse the numbers a little bit that are going to work for that individual buyer. But we're having the conversation, look, your payment's probably going to be $200, $300 more than what we're talking about right now.
If you bought a house in the summer or the fall, and it's way more than what the previous owner paid, you're going to get a tax assessment in the spring. It's going to happen. We tell people that all the time, and it's not a shock when our people get it, because we've told them that. We cannot take more money up front than it shows on the title what the taxes are. We can't do it. All right, we're not taking more money. We're like one of the only people that say we want less money. We don't want more money from our clients. We want less money. In this world, everybody's trying to get more. We're trying to save people money. We're trying to say, hey, no, don't pay the points. We'll reset the tax escrow when it happens. And lenders are going to hate me saying this, I tell people, if you're really good and disciplined with your money, pay your own taxes.
That's right.
Why are you letting somebody else hold your tax and insurance money? But that's only if you're really disciplined and really good with it, because you're going to get 3 bills. You're going to get one for the insurance, and you're going to get 2 bills for your summer and winter taxes, and you have to have the money. So if you're not good with it and you just want the convenience of making the payment with the taxes and insurance, I'm good with that. But if you're good with your money and your discipline, keep your own money.
Another thing with that is sometimes you get the letter that says you need another $500 per month. It's gone up because not only is your property tax has gone up, but we're putting additional funds back into your escrow account to get ready for next year's summer tax bills. But Becky, the great news is there's an analysis done, an escrow analysis is done once a year.
Every year.
If there's too much money in there, you get a check refunded to you.
Yeah.
It always
it's rare
happens.
These days.
So as Harry's saying, if you can manage this on your own, fantastic. A lot of us we offer a free escrow waivers. You want to call Capital Mortgage Funding, 1-800 low rate. You'll save a ton of money.
It's funny, because people talk about they're waiting for the housing bubble to come back and this stuff, right? And it's like we were all in the industry during that time, and the individuals, they didn't want to pay the taxes because their house wasn't worth it, air quotes, because we all know what happened, right? So now here we are in a healthy real estate market, and people don't want to pay the taxes even though their house is worth it. So it's like you can't have it both ways. And I'd much rather know that my home is appreciating in value. I can tap into that. I can physically touch that asset versus like, you know, certain stocks, you watch them grow, but until you pull that out, you can't really touch it. But this is my home. This is your home. You're building your own net worth, and it is a tangible asset that you can utilize. But there's a time and place for everything.
Hey, definitely exciting times in real estate, Sherri. All those folks that bought homes last year, the year before, there's an opportunity to refinance, save money. They're sitting on a pile of equity, I hope. Maybe even a cash out refinance. Maybe your refinance will lower or increase your equity, lowering your loan to value, Harry. That'll save you money. Get rid of that PMI. Maybe you have an FHA loan. You can go to a conventional loan. Lots of ways to do it. Keep it here on 97.1 The Ticket. It's the Hardcore Mortgage Real Estate Business Show. 248-539-9797. We'll be back. Welcome back to the show, 845. It's the Hardcore Mortgage Real Estate Business Show. Always giving you information on mortgages and real estate. Harvey Freed, Becky Alley, Harry Glanz, one on the mortgage side. Sherri Gramlich, EXP. She was down in the EXP Con. You guys are all over
Miami,
the country.
Right?
It's
Yes,
like these,
it was in Miami. It was awesome.
Yeah.
you guys get motivated. It's sometimes a lot of speakers, some strategies, I'm sure, on helping families sell and purchase property. And, of Of course, your new assignment, of course, we could drop that again. Army veteran. That's why
Yes.
we bring you on. We got Veterans Day up on Tuesday. A lot of the banks will be closed. We're open at Capital Mortgage Funding to serve you and get your mortgages done, of course. But Sherri, go ahead and mention you've got that new position again. Let's just re-mention that with the military.
So, yes, the chairperson for the military network. And yeah, there's a lot of hype at EXPCon. We also had like a military appreciation lunch. Thank you to EXP for putting that on for us. It was fantastic. And then we have all kinds of different educational opportunities. And the educational, the collaboration and everything across the country with EXP is amazing.
I'll throw this out there. If you're a veteran, call us. We'll get you hooked up with Sherri. You can call in now, anytime. Sherri Gramlich, EXP Trenton. That's the best way to find her.
But it's
Of course,
it's national because even if
It is
she can,
national.
the referral network that Sherri has, if you're in Michigan and you're moving to Colorado, Texas, wherever it is, you don't have to go there with a stranger.
exactly.
And that's why we
Like
are
that.
licensed. Because someone asked me yesterday, they're like, why are you licensed in so many states if your majority of your business is Michigan? I said, well, because if someone is moving and I had the privilege of doing their son's transaction, now their daughter's moving, why would you send someone in another state to work with a stranger?
Because
When
it
you have a
matters who
famili-
you work with.
Yeah.
All the way around.
When you have a familiar voice and a face and you're still very much in tune, and then and then I can reach out to Sherri and be like, hey, this person's buying a house in Colorado. Do you have someone? This person's buying in Texas. Can you recommend somebody that's going to take care of them? So therefore they have a very hand-holding experience, and it's like we never even left them.
And referrals are a big deal too, because we know people across the country that are going to take good care of them. We can vet them for the client. We can make sure that they're going to be a good fit. So if somebody's going through a PCS or an ETS, or whether they're just moving across the country and we know somebody that's going to take care of them, why not go with that person rather than going with somebody fresh out of the real estate school or whatever, just because somebody's uncle is now selling
just got his
real
license,
estate.
you mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you can also be another set of eyes and ears and be a sounding board for that person, and they can ask questions, and it just makes a transaction go smoother when you have that kind of backing. You know, you have
Yes.
that kind of backstop on it, so it's worth it. We really believe that.
All right,
And
go
it's
ahead.
reputation. You know, I'm not going to put my reputation on the line and recommend somebody that's not going to do a good job for them.
Yeah.
All right, keep it here on 97.1 The Ticket again. Last night, a big win for the Pistons. That's awesome stuff. We'd like to mix in a little sports. I think Sherri might want to go there.
Yeah,
The
Sherri's,
Wings took-
she's
the
got the
Wings took
D,
it
the
on
old
the
English D
chins.
behind her ear over here.
Yeah.
Sherri, before I even get into mortgage rates and what we're going to see over the next couple of months, there's no doubt that the Jerome Powell's comments after the last Fed meeting threw a little damper on future rate cuts. So again, we might be in the lower of where the interest rates are going to be over the winter, of course, ending the fall and over the winter.
Listen,
So
he said he didn't guarantee. What threw the market for a loop is that there's no guarantee of future cuts. In other words, he said we're not guaranteeing another rate cut in December. I'm betting there's going to be a 25 basis point cut. There's no question. But there's so much conflict going on in the political world between the Fed and the president
the
of the
government
United States.
shutdown here isn't helping.
Government shutdown. It's just Look, this is not a political show, but I will bet you that there's another 25 basis point cut in December.
Fair enough. Sherri, you want to talk about the Scooble trade or something that might be coming up? Sherri
Oh
comments,
my
he said.
gosh. Yeah, I
She
did
came in with a
comment.
whole bunch. But he's going to, what's your predictions here, Sherri? You want to go there and do sports? or
I really think they're going to trade Scooble.
Okay. you heard
They're
it
not going to
first.
pay the money.
All right.
Yeah, I'm sure all the sports people around the station are going, that's Sherri Gramlich. She's such
She's
a
on the
wizard.
money.
She's a wizard.
She's got this figured
You
out.
know, I don't want him to go,
No,
right?
no, we
But
don't want him.
like financial sense,
Right.
they can get how many players for that?
Love that.
So
I do.
Scott Harris, he's going to take your advice for sure, Sherri. But if you need real estate advice,
Yeah, Pluto's coming in after that. Yeah, he's
Right. They listen to everybody, right?
All right,
Sure.
just a few minutes left, Sherri. I know you got a couple listings
Yeah.
coming up, so we wanted to dive into those. And there's a couple starter homes, too.
yes, yeah. So I have a listing coming up in Dearborn. It is a really cute condo. It's going to be coming up in about 2 weeks. Has a garage. It has a basement. And nothing up above them. So really nice.
So it's a ranch condo with a
It's
basement.
a ranch condo with a basement. So super excited about that one. It just has to get cleaned first. It's having a clean out on Monday.
Okay.
So Veterans Junk Removal is doing the clean out. So I'm going to give them a shout out real quick. They're fantastic. And then also I have a home coming up in Lincoln Park that's an estate. And that one's really absolutely adorable. Great bones.
Well
Nice
maintained,
basement.
taken care of.
Huge backyard.
Where's that one located? Can you say that yet?
It's in Lincoln Park,
Okay.
not far
Got it.
off of, I want to say Outer Drive.
Okay. So when that is available and she can say her coming soon and the rules and things that you guys have to
Yes,
follow.
yes.
So I wasn't sure where it was in the timeline. So we'll definitely get that posted on our socials to promote these active listings because, this is a most buyer-sellery market that we've had in some time, because there's still a lack of inventory, but the buyers are really winning. For whatever reason, buyers were a little bit hesitant to pull the trigger, and it's like a weird market, but you're seeing deals like buyers can really have a voice in this market. They don't have to panic buy.
You're right. Absolutely. I had a client last week I was working with, and they wanted to pull the trigger and put an offer on a home without a basement, and they really want a basement. And I'm like, this is $400,000. Why would you settle?
Yeah.
Let's wait.
Okay.
Something else will come up.
Yeah, there's a little bit of reprogramming that is happening with the buyers because some of them feel like they have to panic buy, and then the other ones are really taking their sweet time analyzing things. It's a little bit of a mix. It's a mixed bag.
Absolutely. And so if it means waiting a month, wait a month. You'll get the one with the basement. It's okay to wait.
Yes,
I'm a
and
big basement guy.
I do like a good basement.
I love basements. I mean,
Yeah.
storage, you have extra room, space, create another living area down there, go utilize it. You utilize your whole house. And when you don't have a basement, I mean, what do you got? I mean, I don't know. I'm just a basement guy.
You got a sprawling ranch.
I love a basement.
But
I do.
but in Michigan, like some states don't have basements, right? So it's cool
Yeah.
that like again, people knock on Michigan, but like we're the 365 state right now where it's like we get all four seasons. We get, there's nothing like a winter up north, a summer up north, a fall up north, or even just right here in our backyard. But it all depends on like what you're looking for when you're purchasing and what your goals are. But to Sherri's point, you don't have to rush to buy right now. But if you are buying right now, you can really win. Like this is where serious buyers are coming out and serious sellers are present. And
Yeah.
you can have a win-win situation for all parties. All parties.
We've seen some of the homes lay on the market, Sherri. So a little buyer's opportunity here. We're saying that it's
you
true.
You don't have to do the appraisal guarantees and the $40,000 above asking and whatnot. And hey, that's kind of better than them little bit higher interest rates. You're not paying $40,000 over.
Hey, good news for the seller. So instead of them getting an extra $25,000 over asking on their house, when they go to buy up, because usually they're going to buy up, their family's grown. Well, they don't have to spend an extra 25 or 30. Look,
Absolutely.
homes have definitely been appreciating, really record numbers. But over the last 4 years, we've seen some crazy stuff, 5-10% every year. This year, maybe Becky, down to 2-3% in some areas, but it's definitely regional.
Yeah, like there's micro pockets, right? You're going to have certain areas, like even like in the downriver area, Southgate. If you look at Southgate, I think Michelle was on here and she pointed that out. And I looked at it and I was like, she's right. Like Southgate has appreciated more of all the cities surrounding than any other city in that area. And it's becoming desirable because people are moving in different spots. Like Wyandotte is always a nice downtown walkable area, but Southgate's on that up and come. And people are looking to purchase there.
Even Lincoln Park has gone up tremendously.
And then you have Berkeley, it's always going to hold its value. It is what it is. And, but some areas, outskirts, like people are pushing out to Hazel Park, Oak Park, the taxes over there are nuts, right? So even if you're looking to be an investor, again, you have to talk to licensed real estate professionals and lenders, because if you're looking to be an investor, that cash flow is 1,000,000% of that initial conversation. If you're looking at taxes and your payment is based off of homestead, we're going to take you non-homestead. And if you're not with the right people, you're going to miss that and realize that you're not going to have that same cash flow.
And if you have questions about your taxes, give us a call. If you have questions about anything you receive in the mail, email, as Harvey said, he's getting texts, his phone is blowing up. It's that time of year where you're going to get notification from people that just want to take your money. And again, like we previously said, We'll save you money, but you have to give us a call. We'll look it over for you. We'll tell you if it's legitimate or not, and we'll help you out. So that goes from taxes to any offers you get, crazy things. Don't pay for a title insurance policy when you already have one. You know, there's all kinds of scammers out there. Give us a call. We'll walk you through it, and we'll talk you. We'll save you money. That's the guarantee.
We know what we know. We know what we don't know. But what I think, what makes someone an educated person is the things that you don't know. You know exactly where to go to get the information. So even if you're asking us a question and we don't know, it's beyond our expertise, we're going to go directly to the person that knows the answer, and we're going to get that information for you, because you don't have to walk the streets alone.
Get some more experience. Definitely give us a call. Capital Mortgage Funding, 1-800-LOW-RATE, the best mortgage banker. We see Pat Caputo. He's coming in with sports. Keep it here all day on 97.1 The Ticket. For the Hardcore Mortgage Show, I want to thank Sherri Gramlich for coming in. Happy Veterans Day for you, Sherri, and all the service members out there. Thanks for serving, and we will see you next Saturday.